We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall, you see. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. You shit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Izuku, he don't live in reality. Shake back off, come up fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kids. You shit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, back with you with another new part of What If Izuku Was Loved by the Intoners. This is part 5, and honestly, I think it's a good time for me to upload this. Well, by the time that I'm uploading this, originally I was planning on having this uploaded by that of, well, Valentine's Day. But I kind of forgot about it. But hey, it's still that of the month of love, so better late than never, if I say. So, with all that said, let's go with that of a necessary recap. In the last part, Izuku was training with that of One For All to basically get a better handle of it. Since he gained that of, well, One For All a lot more earlier than he would have in canon after all. Thanks to that of the Drakengard sisters training him. However, he's basically amping up to that of 5% and then 10% as well. And somewhat walking circles around that of his childhood friends. However, it looks like things are playing behind the scenes though. With that of the HPSC trying to figure out on who Izuku is. If it wasn't for Zero covering for them. Hawk's actually also trying to figure things out himself because he doesn't want to deal with that of the bullshit of the HBSC and rather get it over with sooner than later. With Izuku and the others taking part in that of the UA entrance exam, with as 5 and 3 basically take on their own exams, 5 going to that of the business exam, while 3 going after that of the, well, support course exam, leaving that of Izuku 1, 2, and 4 for that of the hero course exam. And of course, thanks to that of Izuku's training with Zero and giving him advice about the most dangerous villains being in the alleyways, he focuses on them than the ones in the wide open, than that where everybody else would be struggling and trying to kill steal for them after all. But everything always stays the same, with Izuku trying to save that of Ochako. However, instead of using 100%, he uses that of 50% of One For All through Full Cow. Still having broken bones and limbs, but he's able to move them a lot more better than he would have in canon after all. So yeah, but even so, still saved by Ochako, healed up by that of Recovery Girl, and believing that he definitely might have passed. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? A few weeks have now gone by since that of the hero entrance exam, with Izuku at home, basically eating dinner with that of his mother, with his arms still in that of a cast. Within, as he continues eating, however, he has that of a lifeless eyes into him. Within, Inko saying, "Izuku, sweetie, are you okay?" Within saying, "Yep, I'm fine, Mom. Just thinking about some things, that's all." "Do you believe that you haven't passed?" Within Izuku saying, well, not necessarily, just that, before then taking a breather saying, it's complicated in that. Within saying, thanks for the meal. I think I'm going to lay down for a bit. After saying his piece, he soon walks back into his room. Within Inko a little bit worried for her son, after all, like always. With Izuku doing a little bit of a workout routine, even though his arms and legs are still recovering, he still has to at least keep up some of his workout training to get a better handle of One for All, to strengthen his bones and muscles. While still training a bit, he soon got that of messages, mainly from that of all the girls outside of Zero. As he was about to read them, that's when his mother barges in, frantically basically scattering around the floor, with soon Izuku saying, Mom, what's wrong? With her saying, Izuku, you got a letter from UA? Within Izuku basically having that of a deadpan but also surprised look on his face saying, huh? A few minutes later, he soon basically reads that of messages from the girls. First, he got a message from that of 5 saying that she passed for the business course exam and got a letter and everything. Second, from that of 3, as she also says she passed. However, she didn't get the first place marks, as for some reason some girl by the name of Hatsune took her spot, as she will find her and make her suffer. Her words, not Izuku's. As for 1, 2, and 4, they also passed, with them wondering on what classes that they're going to be. Within, Izuku opens up his letter, wanting to basically be there in the same school with all of his childhood friends, hoping that he passed as well. As he opens up the letter, within, instead of that of a paper, he sees that of one of the, hologram discs that are quite, rare and expensive as hell. As he soon opens it up, within a hologram appears, with soon showing that of the number one hero, All Might, and his newly minted mentor, saying, I am here to give you the results of your exam. Within, Izuku freak out saying, All Might, wait, is that the very reason why I couldn't talk to him? For the past 2 weeks? Within, All Might saying, now, you may be wondering why I, All Might, decided to grace you with that of your entrance letter. Well, you see, I am now decided to be part of the UA faculty this year. So you may see me around that of the campus. With Izuku quite shocked by this, knowing that his mentor is still there, supporting him after all, saying, however, allow me to give you your results, young Midoriya. As for your results, you gain that of 52 villain points, which is quite something. It even elevates you to be part of class of the hero course, actually. Which is I had to say I'm impressed. Surely, you may not have gotten the top score when it comes to taking down villains, but you truly shine in other ways. Taking advantage of that of multiple villains, mainly being in that of alleyways instead of the wide open where everyone else was, is truly remarkable. Not a lot of people figure that out the first chance they get. I'm actually quite impressed. Within, Izuku saying, thank you! I really gotta thank Zero after this. As he looks like he's about to cry, within, All Might continues saying, however, there's more to being a hero than just taking down villains. As you know, you taking on that of the 0-pointer would mean absolutely nothing, since it's basically an obstacle. A foe that you're supposed to run from. An obstacle you're supposed to avoid. However, there's more to heroism than taking down those who are a threat. See for yourself. Within, noticing that, for a present mic is another video showing that of the vocal hero and the girl that he saved from the entrance exam. As this girl being Ochako, basically saying that she wants to bring up that of one of the applicants, the guy with that of messy green hair with the freckles and looks quite plain. Within, Izuku hearing that saying, plain? Within him realizing, wait, why am I reacting to that? Everybody's always called me plain, except within thinking about that of the, well, Draken sisters saying, well, except all of them in their own way, with him blushing before shaking his head, getting back to that of the video, saying that as Ochako says that she wants to give up her points after what he did for her, and would be ashamed to do so when he worked so hard after all. With then hearing that, Izuku couldn't help but be shocked, with Prison Mike saying that she has nothing to worry about because there's so much more to the exam than she gives them credit for, catching her completely off guard as the video ends, showing All Might once again, as he continues smiling, saying, you see, turns out there was a second requirement to gaining points for the entrance exam, and that was rescue points. Instead of basically, well, going by that of point-based system with robots, or depending if you basically support or help that of your fellow participants, the spectators, mainly the UA faculty of the exam, would give out points of their own for those who save and help that of your fellow participants by that of 10 points. And by unanimous upstart throughout all of UA history, no student has basically got that of multiple UA faculty raising up for one person. And those basically being that of 60 points you gain. Add that with that of your 52 points, you have 112 points, making you the highest in the exam, taking first place, with Izuku seeing his ranking as showing his original placement with just that of the 52 points, as he's basically in that of the, well, passing margin, basically being 12. But add that with his 60 rescue points, and basically shotting up, surpassing the first place option being Bakugo. Within, however, he also noticed that he even surpassed that of 1 and also that of 4 as well. Realize that 1 is basically third place, while that of 4 is in that of 10th place. With Izuku completely and utterly caught off guard by this, as he surpassed his childhood friends, the same friends that were always stronger than him in one way or another, the same friends that were always better than him in one way or another, the same friends who stuck by him, a quirkless nobody, where they didn't even need to. He surpassed them in one thing, that being the entrance exam for once, as he couldn't help but begin to start crying, saying, "This is the efforts of your hard work, young man. Now allow me to welcome you to your hero academia." With that, the message ends. Within, Izuku couldn't help but begin to cry, and that of tears of utter joy, and that of victory as well. A few minutes later, he soon basically messaged that he also passed as well. However, he figured that they already knew that, given that they saw that of, well, they saw that of 1, 4, and 2's entrance exams letter, after all, and probably saw that he was the top of the leaderboard, of course. But still, he wanted to inform them either way. Not to mention, he also thanked Zero for her help and her advice as well when taking on that of villains. That there were basically tons of villains in the alleyways after all. With that, and he even says that for that he will do anything that she wants, but promise that it isn't anything illegal or that will cause him any pain. However, part of him basically thinks that it's going to lead to something else that he needs to worry about. Heading over to that of the, well, Dragan sisters, well, apartment complex, with him basically entering the door as Zero was already there, and she didn't even need to work today, saying, good. So, about that favor, within Izuku basically gulping as looking at her appearance, showing that she's barely wearing anything right now. Like basically in just bra and panties alone. With then Izuku basically gulping, within saying, is your sisters here? I mean, I know that 3 is already headed to that is probably going out to get some parts for whatever support gear she makes before UA. And I know that 2 always goes to that of the orphanage that she basically, always volunteers for. So is 1, 2, and 5 within saying, oh, they're out too. I think they went go shopping today. Well, whatever. But still, come in so we can basically make that of what I have plans for you. But then, as she comes in, with Izuku still basically red, looking at that of his old childhood friend, who he kind of sees as an older sister as well, but, seeing her now in her 20s, can't help but feel a little bit embarrassed. Even with all of the girls basically clinging onto Izuku in one way or another, appropriately and inappropriately alike, with him sitting on that of the couch, as he noticed that the room is actually quite, messy in one way or another. Given that, I figured the only people that clean up this place is possibly 1 and 4, and 2 occasionally. But then Izuku saying, so, about that favor, since thanks to you I was able to pass UA exam, so saying, a date. Within, him just saying, huh? A date. That's what I want. You and I are going on a date. Tomorrow night, since you don't have school tomorrow after all, being a Sunday, which means you and me, free. Got that? And you're not getting out of this, got it? With then Izuku hearing that, and saying, alright, we go on a date. With Izuku blushing like crazy, almost looking like that of a giant, strawberry after all, given his hair. Within her rolling her eyes, as she can't help but enjoy seeing Izuku being flustered like this for a bit, saying, oh, stop overreacting, you damn nerd. I'm not gonna bite much. As long as you don't piss me off, that's all. Within, Izuku saying, oh, right. With then, she mentally saying, not much you can do to piss me off unless you ramble too much, you dumbass nerd. As she mentally saying to herself, God, he is lucky he's cute. And then she meant saying, and besides, I finally get an upper hand over my annoying ass sisters. They always get to spend time with him more than even I do since becoming a full-fledged pro after all. And they even go to the same damn school now. So that means I get less Izuku time than those damn bitches. With her mentally sighing saying, they lucky that I love them because if I didn't, I would definitely throw their asses out so I can spend more time with him. As this is just a bit of how Zero's possessiveness around that of Izuku is a bit. She's in control of it, but even so, it can go wild if she doesn't have a lock on it. But then saying, meet me at that of Drakengard Mall around that of 12 o'clock in the early noon. Don't be late. Got it? With then, Izuku saying, right. So with Zero casually saying, look, I'm not kicking you out. You can stay here if you want. You've been here a few times and you already know. With then Izuku still in fluster and embarrassed saying, don't you need to get dressed? With her saying, huh? No. Why would I? I live here. This is my house. Why the hell would I need to get dressed in my own damn home? But then Izuku still flustered saying, okay, get to know. Bye, Zero. As he soon rushes out of the apartment, getting his shoes on and heading out the door. Within, Zero saying, oh, God, I wish I could just screw the nervousness out of him already. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm probably going to do it tomorrow. If everything goes well like I promised. With that, Zero saying, well then, I'm going to get some more extra sleep after all. As she heads back into her bedroom, however, little did she know, she was being hurt on by not that of the HPSC, thankfully enough, but no, by that of her own younger sisters, as each and every one of them have heard this and are actually quite pissed in their own right and way, with one looking stoic. However, you could see through her crimson eyes that she is absolutely not liking this. With that of 2, she looking actually kind of worried for a bit, almost like she feels like if she doesn't act soon, she's going to feel like she's losing somebody forever. As for that of 3, she basically looking like she's about to lose it right now, almost on the verge of basically laughing like a maniac. 4 also basically looking like she's about to lose it too, as she's basically glaring into basically nothing, but you could basically feel the rage wafting off of her. As for 5, she basically does not look like she cares that much, which one notices saying, "You're very calm about this, 5. Care to explain, sister?" But then she's saying, "Huh? Oh, I'm not. I mean, Izuku's going on a date with 0. Nothing else is weird with that." But then 4 actually now glaring at that of 5 as her as that of her emerald eyes basically glare full on in that of rage, saying, "Going on a date? Not that simple? What the hell is wrong with you, 5? Don't you think that we may lose Izuku forever?" But then all of them looking at that of 5, with her basically huffing, saying, "Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm a little pissed at the fact that I'm not being the first one to go after Izuku, but it's not like we're going to be losing him forever. We all have our chances to go on a date with him. We just won't be the first ones. The number one thing that I'm worried about is wanting to make sure is I be the first one to take his virginity." Before all girls scream at the same time, "Screw that! That's me!" With then, hearing this, all of them basically freak out. But then, outside of that of 3, 5 couldn't help but chuckle a bit, saying, "And there it is." 3 is no surprise there, but Little Miss, honor roll student, Little Miss Innocent, and Little Miss Stick Up Her Ass all have that of lustful sides. Huh, well, isn't that a shock? As all the girls couldn't help but be embarrassed outside of 3. Within, 1 basically clearing her throat, saying, "That's besides the point." Before then composing herself, no longer blushing, saying, "The point is, Izuku just got into that of UA. We need to make sure that he stays focused. And knowing All Might, he wants to do the same." Within 3, not even caring, as with that of her nonchalant tone and all, saying, "When do we start caring for what All Might think when we only care about what Izuku wants and what's best for him?" With 1 saying, "We don't." However, before taking another breather, saying, Izuku's dream is to be a hero. As much as us being in a relationship with him is important, right now is not that time. He's just starting out in UA. The moment he begins a relationship without taking things seriously at UA is the moment that he can't adapt to things properly. He needs to get a feel of UA before he starts getting into a relationship properly. After that, we all can make our move properly when we have a proper foothold within UA system. Within hearing this, all of them say, as 2 says, "I can work with that. I'm still a little bit, saddened that I won't be able to date Izuku, be the first one to date Izuku, but still, I'm okay with it." With 4 saying, "We have to. I just don't want Izuku to have a big head, that's all." Within 3 just nonchalantly shoving her shoulder. Then 5 just saying, "I just want to sleep with him. Being a lovey-dovey relationship with him is just a bonus." Looking at that of the slut that they have as a sister, with that of look of disgust, and that of understanding as well. With 1 saying, "Good, now then, let us all prepare for that of Izuku and Zero's date, and make sure that everything goes smoothly, and that it doesn't end with them being in a full-on relationship." With all sisters saying, "Right," as their plan to stalk that of Izuku and Zero for their date is just about to commence and put into planning phase. The very next day, around that at, Tatooine Mall, has that of Izuku currently wearing that of a, green jacket with under it being that of a, blue shirt that just in kanji basically says shirt, with blue jeans, and also that of his signature red shoes, as he's feeling quite nervous, wondering where Zero's going to show up, as it's currently now that of 12, as he decided to come a little bit earlier, at least arrived at 15 minutes early actually, with then saying, maybe I should have just came on time. Maybe I could have just, with then saying, don't tell me that you did that stupid stereotypic trope in that of romantic comedies and basically romance novels and manga, you dumbass. Within, Izuku frantically, jumping out of his skin for a bit, saying, sorry, Zero, before then, noticing her, as you would think that she would wear that of her casual clothes or something, or maybe even something a lot more risky given her hero costume after all. But surprisingly, Zero wearing that of an elegant, proper white dress that basically covers more than shows, with her wearing that of white open-toed heels. You could tell that she also having that of a little bit of makeup on, about that of, blush cheeks and her mascara, and the signature look basically being that of a flower in her hair, with showing a lot more elegance than you would think she normally has, given her, crass, rude, and basically raunchy behavior. But this is completely different from the childhood friend that he knows and loves occasionally, leaving completely Izuku utterly stunned at the beauty in front of him, with Izuku utterly speechless and can't say anything. Within Zero, without any of that, holding him back, saying, What? You never see me? You see me in dresses before. What the hell are you grokking at about? With Izuku saying, it's nothing. It's just, as Izuku stuttering a bit, nervous and flustered, saying, you really look pretty in that. With then hearing this, causing Zero to blush for a bit, saying, whatever, it's nothing out of the ordinary. Come on. As she grabs him by his arm, as they link arms together, causing Izuku to blush even more, especially as his arm is pretty close to that of her, pretty decent enough chest, with him basically blushing even more, saying, there's this place I wanted to check out for a bit. You don't mind tagging along, do you, Izuku? With Izuku saying, not at all, since you said this was a date after all, as he's having a hard time getting the words out, saying, good, now come on. Once I'm done, you can go to a place that you want to go to. It's only fair after all. As the two walk off in that of the open mall. However, little do they know they're being watched by that of 10 pairs of eyes with different shades of color into them. As currently that of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all in disguise trying to spy on that of Izuku and Zero's date. As they're all in disguises, with one not wearing that of her usual white getup and wearing something a lot more black and actually has a fedora with sunglasses on. For some reason, 2 looks like she's a hippie with rainbow coloring tie-dye shirt and everything, with having that of a cap with that of fake dreads on, which is surprising. It's fitting under that of her messy blue hair. 3 wearing a businesswoman suit for some reason, and having those anime swirly glasses, and her long purple hair into a, ponytail. For some weird reason, 4 is wearing a, a shinobi uniform, but more conservative, actually, before putting a mask on that surprisingly fits that of her twin tails. And the last one is more, what the hell was she thinking, as 5 is dressed up like Midnight. Even went a step further with even dyeing her hair black like that of Midnight too. With then one saying, all right, everyone, let's get ready. We have to make sure that this date goes well, but also make sure that Zero doesn't do anything risky with Izuku. right, sisters? With all of them say, right, as they all began to track that of their eldest sister and their crush. The first stop being that of a, clothing shop, but not just any clothing shop, as it being that of a punk goth shop, actually. Surprising that of Izuku, to be fair, as normally, Zero always wears white, so it's kind of shocking that she would come to somewhere where mainly that of dark clothing, or basically cool colors, are, known for, after all. As she enters, saying, "Don't be too surprised that of Izuku. Normally I come here for that of not just myself, but mainly for that of 3 as well. The girl can barely, have clothing for herself as she isn't making any of her support gear or her experiments." Within Izuku saying, if it's not too much to ask, has she got a better handle of that? I'm kind of worried when she goes into UA, she might try something with one of our fellow students saying, "Oh, right, that one incident back at Aldera. That one guy that they still haven't found, right?" Saying, yeah, it was not easy. His parents still think that he ran off somewhere or was kidnapped by villains. With then Zero saying, "Yeah, honestly, she's kind of lucky that I was able to make sure that she wasn't found out. Thankfully, the kid is all right, but now in a mental asylum, given the shit he went through because of 3." As she grabs a few clothes, with Izuku sighing, saying, "I care about her a lot, but she can be quite, she has that of," as he's trying to find a nice way to say it, within Zero saying, "Batshit insane, crazy, and basically a psychotic bitch. Yeah, that's my little sister Kuroko for a reason, Izuku. Any rate, doesn't matter. As long as she stays out of trouble and doesn't cause too much shit that I can't fix while being a pro, then hopefully I know that she'll be able to handle UA easily. Besides, she has a rival now. That person will basically take up most of her time outside of you." With Izuku hearing that, saying, yeah, sure. Then saying, so what do you plan on getting for yourself, actually, outside of just 3? With her saying, huh? Oh, probably nothing much. Probably get a choker. As she goes to the cash register, pays for all the clothes, and then saying, "If you wanted something, I could have gotten it for you," saying, I think I'm good. This style of clothing isn't my style after all. Saying, I think you can make it look. As she soon imagines Izuku as a goth, saying, yeah, a cinnamon roll goth boy. That totally works out. With Izuku being embarrassed by that before being dragged by Zero once again. Within, everybody looking at 3 saying, what? He's fine. Just now legally mentally insane because of what I did. With then hearing that, all the sisters just basically shaking their head in that of annoyance and also acceptance on this is what their, third oldest sibling can do. Within the next place, with Zero asking where Izuku wants to go before looking around as he soon noticed that of a certain shop in the distance. As he sees that it's a hero shop with tons of action figures, posters, and even that of multiple other merchandise on that of pro heroes. With Zero rolling her eyes saying, why am I not surprised? As she couldn't help but roll her eyes, but have that of a carefree smile. With Izuku looking at so much of the merchandise, however, the one merchandise that he was looking for the most was on All Might, of course. But her, again, not too surprised about that, given that this is her crush after all. She knows about how Izuku cares and looks up to All Might so much. Before he noticed a certain figurine that actually is quite something, as it being a, replica of All Might in his early year costume when he was in America during his college years, being his Bronze Age costume. As he couldn't help but be excited, wanting it. However, he realized that it's a limited edition and he doesn't have the cash on him given his, he used most of his money for his workout routine with that of All Might after all. and the girls, so he's kind of light on yen bills right now. Before then, Zero walks up saying, "Hey, how much is for this figurine?" With then the clerk saying, "Huh? Oh, about that of 200,000 yen." With then saying, "All right, we'll take it." And then Izuku saying, Zero, are you saying you want it? Why not? Not like it's going to put a dent in my bank account. With Izuku saying, "Thanks, Zero. I really do appreciate it." With her saying, yeah, let's just get this shit out anyway. With her a little bit smirking, saying, I can understand why he looks up to that damn muscle head. Just by the look alone, and also how strong he is, you just can't help but think everything's going to be all right. Unfortunately, with it, as she buys that of the figurine for Izuku and offers him the bag, while giving off that of a caring and also surprisingly loving smiles, but mentally feeling frustrated, saying that dumbass doesn't know a damn thing about the hero society he built. As Zero begins to reminisce about her life, her early life, with that of her siblings, her sisters, abandoned by that of their parents, mainly by that of their mother. Zero all alone, taking care of 5 infants all by herself, doing everything she can to help them, raise them, take care of them, having to steal, cheat, and even use her quirk to kill if need be. As society already labeling her a villain due to her actions growing up. Until one day, she was caught. However, the person that caught her being that of a hero under the HBSC, within that of the president offering her a deal of a lifetime. As they work under that of the HPSC, they train her to be a hero, master her quirk, as they give them a good and innocent life, but at the same time, she can't do anything. However, Zero took it, not giving a damn, not caring. She doesn't care how many bodies and how many people she has to kill or having to serve the damn government, as long as her sisters and her have a roof under their heads. That's all that matters. However, she has to have the time to spend with that of her siblings outside of training, because if they don't, they're going to figure things out. And she wants them to be innocent and not care about shit like this, and not even be involved with the HBSC if need be. As she was just going with the tones, just doing what they said, training her as they say, while the only thing keeping her going was looking after her siblings. Until that one day that she met Izuku. She and her sisters seen a boy with no power, no strength, no one in his corner, still defend and look after others, protect them, while everybody else basically berates him for doing so. In a way, to Zero, Izuku Midoriya is the true ideal on what it means to be a hero. Selfless in kind, without even realizing it. And yet today's society, where a person's quirk, their personality, or where they come from matters more than anything. And even as civilians turn a blind eye to the wrongs of the world, as long as they are safe, as long as it doesn't affect them, they're okay with just being the bystander effect, not giving a damn about anything in the world unless it involves them. But Izuku's the kind of person to basically run in, defending a mere stranger if it means keeping them safe, no matter what. That's what a hero is, even if it's seen as illegal as well. Her ideal hero, the boy she loves, the one who actually saved her from basically being nothing but a mindless killing machine for her family's sake. Leaving that of the hero shop with that of the 5 sisters once again, seeing things go play out as they did, as they continue to look over, Within, 4 saying, everything seems well already. Maybe 0 won't basically try and, sleep with Izuku at the end of this date. Within, 2 saying, maybe 4's right. Possibly this may work out way more easier than within, as the 3 others look back at the two more innocent girls saying, okay, we're aware she's definitely going to try and screw him. Nothing wrong with being too optimistic, is there? With that, as the 5 continue to watch over them, as it looks like they're heading to that of the food court. As they grab food, within, he's saying, I'm not surprised if you're noticed, but within, 0 saying, what? That my sisters have been basically, watching us this entire time? Within, Izuku realizing, so you did notice. With her sighing, saying, of course I noticed that those idiots were watching us. They're probably trying to make sure that I don't do anything stupid. That's all. Saying, but trust me, there are tons of stupid things I can do, but none of them involve basically me killing them. I have way more self-control than you think, Izuku. With Izuku trying to make a point, saying, if you say some other thing, I will cut you. With Izuku quieting, saying, I'll stay quiet. With her saying, you better. I'd rather continue looking at your cute face than arguing with it. Within, Izuku blushing, but her saying, gets him every time. As they begin to eat in silence, before then saying, Izuku, I have to ask, even though I've grown up with you so much, grown up with your actions, what you've done, and basically admire you for it, but I have to ask, what's the kind of hero that you really want to be? Why do you want to be a hero so badly? Me and the girls have done everything we can to train you, work you to the bone, get you to a way where you actually can fight by yourself, even with or without a quirk. So I need to know, what truly drives you? As Izuku puts down that of his, chopsticks, as he was about to eat that of his katsudon, before saying, originally it was always All Might. To me, saving people, rescuing lives, protecting people is what it truly means to be a hero. I always saw it as the coolest thing in the world, and always wanted to be there for others when need be, no matter what. Even when I didn't have a quirk, and people always saw me as frail, fragile, or basically kept me away because they were disgusted one way or another. That I didn't care, because being a hero is all I had left was to live for in my life. If I didn't try to achieve that, or try to aim for it, then what was the point of my whole entire life when I don't have a quirk? That was something that kept me going when I was young. Until I met you girls. I met Kasumi. I met Liline, Koriko, Mary, and Sabrina. Even you, Rose. You 6 became in my life. Were always there for me when everyone else abandoned me, when Kachan abandoned me, where my mom saw me as nothing but a fragile, weak boy. It was you 6 that stood by my side where everyone else was gone. Always there rooting for me, helping me, even before All Might. All Might have been the hero that inspired me, that rooted for me. But you 6, as he gives off that of a kind heart smile saying, but you were the symbols of determination and kindness that kept me going. And the same for you, 0. You were my symbol of victory. You became the youngest pro hero out before becoming a sidekick to anyone. For that, I admired you so much that you always kept on giving it your all and never stopped giving up. You are my symbol of victory, no matter what anyone says. With hearing that, 0 couldn't help but feel shy and flustered, placing her hand towards her chest. Within, soon, she's saying, that's cheesy as hell. I just wanted your opinion, nothing else. With then Izuku saying, sorry if I rambled, saying, it's all fine. I'm so used to it after all. You damn nerd. With that, she couldn't help but smile. And that of love and care at that of the boy she loves more than anything. And she was about to say some things before then she noticed something. Noticed something in the distance that wasn't her siblings. Before then, she's sighing and out of annoyance. Within, Izuku saying, Zero, you okay? Is there something? Before then, his phone begins to ring as he soon pulls it out of his pocket. Before then saying, hello? Before realizing, All Might, hey! Within, Izuku basically turning around saying, is there any problem? Saying, you want to meet me at Dagobah Beach tonight? Sure. I don't mind. Right now, I'm doing something quite important. With then saying, I don't want to ruin it. So with then hearing that, Zero basically stands up saying, Izuku, why don't you head back home since you got to meet with All Might tonight? Get ready after all. Within, Izuku putting the phone to the side saying, but are you sure? I mean, you were planning for this date, so I figured it's fine. We can call it an end here. I still enjoyed it while I could, after all. Even though I couldn't get to the main part on what I originally wanted. Within, Izuku a little bit oblivious saying, oh, what was that? With her saying, it doesn't matter. Just get back and tell Miss Inko I said hi, okay? As she goes over to Izuku, with Izuku saying, sure. However, catching him completely off guard as she begins to basically kiss him fiercely, like really fiercely, like you could even see tongue action there for a bit, leaving that of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 absolutely and utterly basically furious at that of their sister for taking Izuku's first kiss. However, even though thankfully they are glad that Zero didn't take him to a love motel after all for the other first time. With that, she lets go of Izuku's lips as he's still basically in blue screen mode as Izuku Midoriya .exe has not rebooted at all. Before then saying later, as she soon walks away with leaving Izuku all by himself. Before he hangs up the call as All Might kept on trying to reach that of Izuku. Within, Izuku saying, that just happened. Before falling out of his chair and passing out. However, the reason on why Zero deciding to cut this date short wasn't because of All Might. However, it's due to that of the other set of eyes keeping an eye on her. Mainly because she's following a certain thing that's leading her to the very thing that she was going to basically make sure that if they ever spy on her again, they're going to regret it. And not making it a threat, but making it a goddamn promise. As she begins to activate her quirk, that of the Song of Rage. As she begins to sing that of a tune and a melody of pure, unbridled fury. As pink aura begins to come off that of her body. Before then, wafting off that of a somewhat malicious and twisted aura of pink light coating her. Before then, pulling something out of that of her purse, as it looks like that of a baton. However, it's basically a support gear that she carries with her when she's off duty, actually, as it being a, pocket sword. A short sword that basically acts more like that of a, box cutter knife, but looks like that of a katana-based short sword, as she begins to run and run and run so quickly that she soon jumps up into the air before seeing that of the very person that she basically wants to kill right in front of her more than anybody, as that very person being the current number 3 hero, Hawks. Within Hawks basically had that very look, a look on a face saying, at this very moment, he knew he effed up. As in out of a pure split-second reaction, he soon creates one of his feather blades, catching that of the blade from Zero, saying, "Oh, shit! Hey, I'm guessing you noticed," saying, "Save it, bird boy. I'm going to do something that I wish that you're going to be wishing that your mother did to you. You goddamn failed abortion!" Within hearing that, it made Hawks basically utterly pissed hearing that, as saying, "You know what, screw this." As soon they get out of the deadlock, before then, Hawks catches himself saying, "You know, I am really tired of you," basically, before he could basically, tell her off, she continues to basically strike at him over and over again. While having that of a bit of air time, she goes for multiple slashes before that of a spin slash lands back down to the ground onto that of a nearby roof, saying, "Not only I know that you have been spying on that of my sisters, not only you've basically made multiple comments towards that of the Madam President and other higher-ups of the HPSC, but you even started spying on me and my date with Izuku. I'm going to make this clear. I'm okay with doing my job for the HPSC. I don't care how many bodies I basically had to put into the ground for my sisters. But I'm going to make this 100% clear." Before then, she sings once again. However, the song gets louder and louder to the point that you can even feel the aura coming off of her. Like shockwaves coming off of that of Zero entirely, making winds that even Hawks are feeling, saying, "If you drive and basically pull Izuku into this bullshit, any of you from the HPSC, I'm going to find every last one of you from your family and friends and basically put them all into the dirt." And to make that clear, Kago, as she glares and even says that of Hawks' first name, making him feel nervous, saying, "I'm going to make sure that threat holds up. I won't kill you, but I'm going to make sure that you wish you were dead when I'm done with you. Because I won't let anyone drag down my hero." As she rushes towards Hawks once again, but Hawks again having to fight. However, he knew that this was one fight he definitely was not going to win, no matter what. As currently, the fight cannot be seen by that of the public. However, it is being seen by one person. One person who saw all of this and already knew about everything that Zero was doing. That being One. As One couldn't help but sigh, saying, "Oh, Zero, you're always emotional, all too well. The rest of the other girls may not know this, but I do. I could care less about the HPSC, but yours one thing that you and I can agree with. If they do drag Izuku down with them, or with you, I will say this, I will end them too. To hell with my hero career if they ruin Izuku's life, alongside that of Mrs. Midoriya's life in the process." As more and more shockwaves and basically roaring is being heard in the distance, you can even see a little bit of blood flying in the air too. Mainly from as it's coming from Hawks, not Zero. With One not even caring, as she soon heads back to that of her sisters, as need to get ready in the next few weeks for UA. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I love to read them. So, what did you guys think? Sorry that this wasn't an action-packed chapter, and it kind of just got action-packed at the very end, to be honest. It's kind of secondary, to be fair. But if you guys are wondering, no, Izuku and, Zero are not in a full-on relationship yet. They're you could say that they're dating, but they're not, officially boyfriend and girlfriend. They just like spending time together. So, yeah. Also, you know the reason on why Zero is obsessed with that of Izuku, as him being the only honest person that she can basically rely on. The only person that she sees as the one true hero of this world, even more worthy than All Might himself. So yeah, at any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification key to get my videos uploaded to the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my other channel, my side channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App. All linked in the description below. And if you guys have a commission for me to do, please go into that of the comments. Go to that of super thanks, meaning the heart-shaped symbol with a $sign. Offer and tell me what if you want me to do in the future. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie signing out. Later, guys, and hope you all take care. You know what to do, my Shiro.
Hi, everyone. This is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!